There is a nation with breathtaking scenery and, more significantly, very hospitable people in the center of Central Asia. It may provide one of the best insights into Central Asia, a region rich in mystery, history, and untold tales. The Republic of Uzbekistan is the official name of Uzbekistan, Tan. It is currently one of the 7 sovereign Turkish states. After separating from the Soviet Union some 30 years ago, it became independent, encompassing over 447,400 kilometers. The country of Uzbekistan is quite large. However, not all of its territory is suited for habitation because a large portion of it is made up of mountains and deserts. It is the most populated nation in Central Asia, with about 35 million inhabitants. As one might think, Tashkent, Tashkent, the nation's capital, is its most famous city. This is the initial point of arrival for the majority of guests. Tashkent was a significant economic center during the Soviet era, and after Moscow and St. Petersburg, it was formerly the 3rd most populated city in the Soviet Union. Approximately 3 million individuals live there now. Tashkent, Uzbekistan is landlocked and only has access to rivers and lakes rather than the sea. The Aral Sea, which was formerly thought to be the 4th largest lake in the world, is one of them. But over time, it has drastically contracted, becoming a much smaller body of water instead of what was once referred to as a sea. Here's something intriguing now. In actuality, Uzbekistan is a gold-rich nation. Furthermore, that is more than a figure of phrase. Uzbekistan speech. It is the world's 4th largest producer of gold. The nation has abundant natural resources, including uranium, in addition to gold. It is also one among the world's top 5 cotton producers thanks to its lush terrain. When you include coal, oil, and natural gas, you start to see how strong its economy is. By regional standards, Uzbekistan speech. Uzbekistan is a rather prosperous country since it exports these resources to nations like China, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Turkey. In the past, Uzbekistan was one of Central Asia's most significant hubs for commerce and daily life. It was an important hub on the Silk Road that connected Europe and China. Trade brought about cultural interchange, which greatly enhanced the region's vibrancy and diversity. Strong leaders like Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great were drawn to it by its wealth and strategic significance. During their conquests, the Mongols in particular destroyed a large portion of the area, leaving a lasting impression. Following Genghis Khan, Timur, the great Turk ruler, rose to prominence and consolidated his control over these territories. Timur drew academics and philosophers from all over the world to Samarkand, transforming it into a hub of knowledge and culture because of his profound enthusiasm for art and culture. However, the Silk Road had mostly lost its former splendor by the 16th century. Genghis Khan Uzbekistan struggled for independence against Russian expansion and started to face economic challenges. The Russian Empire eventually gained control of the area during the 18th century. The Uzbekistan Bolsheviks took control of Tashkent in 1917. The region that is now Tashkent, Uzbekistan, was part of the Soviet Union by 1924. Uzbekistan did not regain its independence and resurface as a sovereign Turk nation until 1991, with the fall of the USSR. Its people are very proud of their history and culture today. 12 regions and 1 autonomous republic make up the nation. Karakalpakistan is situated to the west. Beyond Tashkent, Tashkent, important cultural and historical hubs include Bukhara and Tashkent, Bukhara and Samarkand. Bukhara Samarkand, geographically, Uzbekistan Samarkand. Uzbekistan shares borders with Kazakhstan to the north and west, Afghanistan and Turkmenistan, Turkmenistan to the south, and Kyrgyzstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan to the east. It's not too difficult to get here. It takes roughly 4.5 hours to fly from Istanbul to Tashkent, Tashkent. For a maximum of 30 days, visitors can enter Tashkent, Uzbekistan without a visa. However, you will require a work permit in addition to a residential permit if you intend to stay for an extended period of time. Naturally, acquiring the official language, Uzbek K will also make life much simpler. However, many people speak Russian and use Uzbek K. It's interesting to note that there are numerous parallels between Turkish and Azerbaijani, making communication surprisingly simple. More than 90% of people call themselves Muslims. Thus, it is also possible to characterize Uzbekistan as a Muslim Turk country. Uzbekistan is a very modern nation despite its rich traditions. People are allowed to exercise their beliefs and dress however they like. Because of its closeness to nations like Afghanistan, some people would think it's dangerous, but that impression isn't accurate. In actuality, Uzbekistan is regarded as one of Central Asia's safest and most habitable nations. And here's something noteworthy. Living in Uzbekistan might be very comfortable if your income is in US dollars. You can exchange even $100 for stacks of Uzbek som, demonstrating the extent of your money's potential. The colorful bazaars, covered markets, and bread are among the first things you'll notice when you get there. There are bakeries all over the place, and fresh bread is continuously baked in conventional ovens. You'll discover tastes and types that you've most likely never had before. The best aspect is that they are really inexpensive. Uzbek som, bread is much more satisfying and nutrient-dense than your typical loaf because it is dense, rich, and full of components. In fact, these breads were formerly transporting to combat zones to provide food for soldiers. They may even remain nutritious and fresh for up to a month. The bakers here say so, at least. Approximately 8,000 of these classic breads are produced daily on average by one bakery. This place has a strong meat-based food culture, and meat is reasonably priced. For a few pounds, for instance, you can have a kebab skewer. Vendors in markets frequently give you free samples as soon as you look them in the eye. It's an indication of assurance. They urge you to sample their items before making a purchase since they believe in their quality. One characteristic that sets the Uzbek people apart is their hospitality. They are truly hospitable, cordial, and welcoming. The markets themselves, which are expansive, vibrant, and full of personality, may even remind you of those in Turkey. People will be grinning at you as you pass through them, their eyes glowing with kindness and wonder. It is strongly advised that you travel with a local guide if you intend to visit Central Asia. The experience is much enhanced by having a first-hand explanation of the culture given the size of the area. Additionally, locals are truly delighted to meet tourists from all over the world, and they will frequently greet you with warmth and excitement. Don't be shocked if families invite you into their homes if you travel to rural places. Here, hospitality is deeply ingrained. They will insist on providing you with food and making you feel comfortable. Rice-based dinners with meat are common among their basic foods, and they resemble recipes you may already be familiar with. People drink tea from dawn to dusk, which is another common practice. Green tea is just as important as black tea. It is frequently served with flavors such as lemon. Additionally, you should be aware that kumis, a traditional fermented beverage, and horsemeat are frequently ingested. It is usual to take off your shoes at the door if you are invited into someone's house, particularly an apartment. Additionally, as Russian is frequently used in daily life in places like Tashkent, you'll find it very easy to interact with people immediately if you speak the language fluently. The climate is a problem, though. You should reconsider if you intend to go in the middle of summer. Temperatures in cities like Tashkent, Bukhara, and Samarkand can rise beyond 50 degrees C, making them quite hot and muggy. It's usually preferable to travel between August and November for a more enjoyable experience. However, the warmer weather also brings with it an abundance of reasonably priced fresh fruits and nuts. One of Central Asia's real tourism treasures, Uzbekistan continues to draw tourists from all over the world thanks to its historic Silk Road legacy. When the sun sets, life in Uzbekistan doesn't slow down in places like Bukhara, Tashkent, and Samarkand. Here, evenings are vibrant with a plethora of venues that provide excellent cuisine and entertainment. You may be enjoying a lunch in a restaurant when all of a sudden you find yourself in the square watching us dancers do our traditional routines. And to be honest, Central Asian dances can easily surpass many European styles in terms of pure visual beauty. they have a really refined quality. With their glittering traditional costumes that catch the light with each step, the dancers appear to glide across the stage like swans. There are also no actual limitations when it comes to alcohol. You can have whiskey, vodka, or anything else you choose at night, depending on whether you want a laid-back or exciting evening. Nightclubs provide a more intensive aspect of nightlife in addition to the conventional venues. In Uzbekistan, people genuinely love to have fun, and clubs are always full on weekends. However, there is more to this colorful existence than meets the eye. A catastrophic earthquake with a magnitude of about 8 devastated the capital, Tashkent, in 1966. It had a huge effect. More than 300,000 individuals lost their homes, and more than 36,000 buildings were damaged. Even the aftershocks were strong, with magnitudes as high as 7. Locals at the time referred to it as living on the back of an angry camel. However, the Soviet Union played a major role in the reconstruction of Tashkent in the years that followed. The city became more contemporary and well-organized once a metro system was built. The majority of Tashkent's residences now are modest, mostly low-rise structures with 3 to 5 stories, many of which were constructed following that earthquake. With only a living room and a bedroom, apartments are typically small, between 60 and 70 meters squared. But in recent years, an unforeseen event occurred. Following Russia's announcement of mobilization in its conflict with Ukraine, hundreds of thousands of Russians relocated to Uzbekistan, as well as nations like Turkey. Rents increased dramatically as a result of this unexpected surge. Once affordable apartments now cost about $500 a month, which is a big increase over earlier times. Another element immediately becomes apparent as you venture out into the streets. Nearly every vehicle you come across is a Chevrolet. The statement that the brand rules the nation is not hyperbole. This is the outcome of a long-standing deal between Chevrolet and Uzbekistan to create more reasonably priced automobiles domestically. As a result, these vehicles make up the majority of the traffic on the highways. Geographically, mountains and expansive desert-like landscapes encircle a large portion of Uzbekistan. The majority of people still reside in rural areas with strong traditions. Traditional sports, horseback riding, and cultural customs that have been passed down through the generations are all still very much alive today. Meat is essential to daily living in these areas. Meat, occasionally even horse meat, is used in dozens of traditional meals that are frequently served with rice. They even make bread with animal fat. Of course, one dish is superior to the others. Please use Uzbek. This is not your typical rice meal. Usually made with lamb and other ingredients like peas, raisins, and garlic, it's hearty and flavorful. Nevertheless, there are drawbacks to this diet strong in meat. Heart disease and vascular problems are prevalent in Uzbekistan and neighboring Kyrgyzstan, particularly in the elderly. Another traditional meal seen in rural areas is samsa, a pastry shaped like a seashell. Bread and other baked items are rarely purchased by locals. Rather, they cook everything themselves, frequently utilizing wood-fired ovens instead of gas. The rich and genuine flavor of Uzbek cuisine is largely due to this cooking technique. Bread and pastries are made in a closed oven found in almost every home. Anything from cheese to poultry can be used to fill a samsa. Uzbekistan is renowned for its carpets as well. Uzbekistan rugs created by hand are highly prized and traded worldwide. Considering the amount of work that goes into creating them, these skillfully and patiently crafted items are offered to tourists at surprisingly low costs. The city of Kar is a must-see if you enjoy historical architecture. For more than 600 years, it has been meticulously conserved. It's like traveling back in time when you stroll through Kar. There are hardly any contemporary structures. Rather, local craftspeople make a living by producing traditional crafts that blend in nicely with the historical ambience of the city. All things considered, Uzbekistan is regarded as one of the Turk state's most livable nations. It gives almost everything you might want, including genuine warmth and welcome, while lacking a beach. Bukhara is another remarkable city that can be reached by train in just 2 hours from Samarkand. It was one of the Silk Road's 3 most significant stations in the past. Constructed in 1127, the column minaret is one of the biggest and oldest minarets in the world. It has withstood invasions, including the conquest by the Mongols. There may be some parallels if you have visited Russia. The streets are large, roomy, and well organized. Cities feel open, with structures dispersed widely, given the country's vast land area and comparatively tiny population. Many buildings are architecturally similar to Russian designs, and playgrounds from the Soviet era may still be found in some back streets, nearly intact. It's always amazing how identical former Soviet nations may feel, almost like copies of the same design. Numerous science minarets in the capital are inscribed in both Russian and Uzbek. In actuality, Russian is still widely used in daily life, particularly in establishments like bookstores. Turkish and Uzbek are similar languages. For instance, what is written as Samsa here may be referred to as Samsa elsewhere. Turkish-speaking nations are geographically far apart, but their languages are nonetheless very similar. Therefore, you will frequently discover that you can at least partially comprehend each other if you travel from Turkey to nations like Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, or Kyrgyzstan. You'll also see a lot of street sellers selling a variety of things by the side of the road as you stroll through the streets. Additionally, Uzbekistan is no longer a closed nation. Here, major Western chains have begun to show up, but not everything is flawless. It might be distressing to witness kids begging on the streets in Tashkent. Some people may come up to you and ask for money if you sit for a long time. They are obviously being sent out by other people, and they swiftly vanish if they receive nothing. The metro is an essential means of transportation in Tashkent. The majority of individuals use it for everyday transportation. It was Central Asia's first metro system when it opened in 1977. It is renowned for its eye-catching design and intricate craftsmanship, just like many metro systems from the Soviet era. Every station nearly seems like a piece of art. Trains are the most popular means of transportation between cities. The majority of train employees are men who wear neat, well-maintained uniforms. In terms of money, the majority of people with regular occupations make about $500 a month, whereas the minimum salary in Uzbekistan is about $320. As a result, many young individuals decide to go to the US or Europe in pursuit of better possibilities. Ultimately, Uzbekistan provides an extraordinarily rich culinary and cultural experience. It's a location that may readily pique your interest and make an impression. However, it might not be the most straightforward nation to establish a high-income lifestyle in the long run. This concludes the video. I'll see you at the next one. Farewell.